Alan Friesen here. One of my volunteer roles is with the Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce on the HR Policy Committee. We have been aware now of Bill 17, the Fair and Friendly Workplace Act. Oh, that's not what it's called. Yeah, no, Fair and Family Friendly Workplace Act, that's what it's called. So this is video 1 of 2 addressing some issues that you should be aware of as a business owner, as an employer in Alberta. The first part is about the Labor Relations Code. Now that part comes into effect September 1, 2017, so pretty quick here. Now, overall, the whole Bill 17 process in Ontario, when they did a review of their labor legislation, their employment standards, it was a 2-year process, 200 public consultations, 500 written submissions. In Alberta, it was 2 months. So it's fair to say it was a pretty rushed experience in the province of Alberta. Now, the new reality on the Labor Relations Code part is some scary stuff, really. Union certification can occur without a vote in some circumstances. So if a union obtains 65% or greater of the employees in a proposed bargaining unit, which I assume means they bought a membership or signed up for a membership, not even sure if they have to buy it, but they've signed up for a membership in a given union, then they're a bargaining unit. That's just filed and the employer is now a unionized place. So that's a little bit scary, and that's a throwback to what it was 30 years ago. The union membership cards are valid for 6 months. So there's a pretty long window that somebody who wants to organize an employer or a business can do that 6-month period of time. Another thing that was very interesting is the Labor Relations Board may issue certification without a vote where employers are found to have engaged in unfair labor practices. So you think of that and say, well, that's probably fair. I mean, if an employer is being unfair labor practices, well, maybe a union is what they should have, right? However, with the unfair labor practices, it's a reverse onus. It's on the employer to show that they were not anti-union or they were not unfair in their labor practices. So it's basically they're proven guilty unless they can prove themselves innocent. So it's a fairly significant change. So it's way easier for unions as well. If you have an employer that is in a remote location, the employer has to provide accommodations and access to food on the same terms they would for their employees. So make it really, really simple. So it's very much a unique situation in Canada, very pro-union, and a little bit of a concern if, in fact, unionized places of business are going to be run at a higher cost to the employer, if that's the case. And I believe it to be the case in most circumstances. The other thing that I guess always concerns me with some union type shops that I have seen is where they chop up which jobs get done by whom. So it's kind of like a professional hockey team, and you can say, okay, defense, you can never play as a forward, you can only play as defense. Well, how effective is that hockey team going to be? And in our business environment, how effective is that team going to be if team members have restrictions on what duties they can do? So that's kind of a concern I have about unionized environments in general. Certainly good that they have, effective employee treatment, that happens. That's a great thing, but at what cost? And is the process fair now? Seems to be a little bit too far swung to support the unions. The other thing too is that the previous system, if there was where it was going to be unionized, where that was made forward to the employer that they were going to be unionized, the union still had to negotiate a successful first collective agreement. But now that process has changed as well. What it'll mean is that if the employers serve notice that they're now unionized shop and they can't come to a collective agreement, the Alberta Labor Relations Board will arbitrate agreement and put it in place. So there's no downside. The union organizers can't lose in that circumstance. So anyways, heads up, this coming, it's September 1, the changes related to the Labor Relations Code in Bill 17, it's in force and it's something you should be aware of. Hope that message is of value to you. Keep well.